Still getting set up, but it was 5, and I wanted to be on time for anyone who shows up. And we never know who might. Either way, conversation continues. Conversation goes on. I'm going to enjoy the, just a couple. I'm going to enjoy the just me. Just, the conversation of one. You can have that conversation of one with 100 people showing up, or you can have that conversation of one with just yourself. It's the same. Hey, Jace. Jeff says, good morning and poop howdy. I'm going to read a couple things. I didn't realize that my online version of A Course in Miracles has a daily lesson. Interesting, huh? It's amazing what is hidden in plain sight. I wrote about that this morning in my own writing. Mentioned before, mainly above anything else, if I had to give myself a label, and I prefer not to, consider myself a writer. Hey, Easy says, hey, Eric. I've written every day since 1999. I've always, from a young age, have wanted to be and considered myself a writer. I went through a crisis of writing faith for a long time, through much of the 80s, much of the 90s, where I would sit and write and have this incredible spurt of inspiration, and then go months, years even, without writing a thing, and then being depressed that I couldn't write. What's worse than someone who wants to be a writer and can't or doesn't write? When I started meditating and my life began to change, I was given a great gift of 1, sobriety, 2, inspiration. Both of them were always present. I wasn't truly given anything. How can you be given something that already belongs to you? How can you be given something that is an essence of yourself? You can't, but it can be revealed, and that's the greatest gift, is something that is already present within you. Trust me, whatever it is that you want is already present within you. Just like David being released from the stone. When Michelangelo was asked, how did you ever possibly carve David from that single block of stone? And his answer was that he didn't. David was already present in the stone, and he simply removed everything that wasn't David. How amazing is that? Give me just a second, guys. Bring up the live stream. Let's see. Fly says up. I'm a fly. Well, there is truth in advertising. Someone with the title Fly comes in and says they're a fly. Indeed, my friend. Jace says, fly high. Fly high. What excellent advice from our friend Jace. I tell you, I've mentioned this before. Jace is a Taoist master. He's a natural yogi. He's just given us all this wonderful advice. Fly high. That's your birthright, to fly high. Hey, Ryan. Ryan says, morning, Eric. Morning, Ryan. Jace says, Ryan, hi. So what I realized, once my meditation deepened, once it became an actual practice, and once sobriety was gifted to me, Jay says, I was going to say hello, but it just it just worked. It did. It worked perfectly. Synchronistically. Inspiration is always present. Inspiration is always present. You just got to be open to it. And how do you open to it? Relax. If something is always present, do you need to search for it? Do you need to work for it? Do you need to make an effort? You just relax into it. Relax into your own gift of inspiration and allow it to come. Don't make demands that it has to be this way. That's where we get problems, that I have to write about this. So anyway, this morning I wrote about a squirrel's tail, Tail. And, squirrels are so obvious. They're so ordinary. I see squirrels every day, but I don't. I don't truly, truly, truly see a squirrel. I see my interpretation of a squirrel. When I let my interpretation go, the world opens up and I'm re-enchanted with that everyday, ordinary magic. Man, what a gift. Let yourself every day be re-enchanted with ordinary magic. I'm going to do a thing on my membership channel starting today of 21 days of thankfulness. Can we wake up 21 days in a row? Do a simple breath, very simple breath. Can be done in 3 breaths. And then say to ourselves, or aloud to the world, thank you, thank you, thank you, 3 times. And then the meditation concludes with allowing the things that you're thankful for to be revealed through the course of the day. So stay tuned for that if you are a member. And if you're not a member, hey, 99 cents. There's nothing special. I'm not offering anything that I don't offer anywhere else, but it's a way you can support me, support the channel, if you want to. If you're here, you're already supporting me. That's enough. Fly says, my cousin Mosquito is annoying as hell. I try to have a pact, an agreement with mosquitoes. If you leave me alone, I will leave you alone. Simple as that. And they generally are pretty good with that. Every so often, though, someone will see a mosquito like by me, and they'll swat it, and they break the agreement, and then I got to deal with the consequences. So we need to be careful. Easy says, how can we become a member? That's a good question. If you go down to the little icon in the comment section for the the super chat and the super whatever, super thingy. that doesn't sound right. Super thingy. I don't want to hear about your super thingy. There's a thing that says membership. Okay, so hit the small $sign. Easy, then membership. That's it. Thank you, Jace. Ryan says, what's your favorite animal, Yogi? That's a good question. I think all time, ultimately, it might be bears. I feel like I have a connection with bears. I dream about bears. But every so often, something comes to me like ducks, where I absolutely love ducks. Nature's become my great, great spiritual teacher. Nature's become my guru. Everything has something to teach me every morning. And when I see a duck, if I ask, okay, duck, what do you want to teach me? It reveals me something. Today was squirrel. I've been doing a lot of nature filming of squirrels, and I used to overlook them. Squirrel. I've seen squirrels before. I see squirrels every day. That's my loss. That was my great, great loss. I believed I saw a squirrel. I didn't. I saw my perception of a squirrel. When I let my perceptions go, when I let what I consider the obviousness of a squirrel go, I become re-enchanted with the world, and it shows me what a squirrel really is. A magical creature that is always doing something amazing, as is everything else. Each and every one of us. Let the obviousness of yourself go, and become re-enchanted with yourself. You're an amazing, can't even say person, aspect of nature. A beautiful aspect of nature. Hey, Delingo. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, my friend. Jay says, do greetings, my friend. Hey, thank you, Easy. Thank you so much. Jay says it's only bare suited the necessity. Man, that was clever. It's the bare necessity. Timmy says, are you happy with your day-to-day life? I am ecstatic with my day-to-day life. Absolutely. I do the same thing every day. The same exact thing every single day. I wake up the same way. I do the same thing. I say thank you. I do my breath work. I meditate. I do yoga. I walk. I work out. I write. I drink coffee. It's the same thing. But you know what? It never feels like the same thing. It all feels very spontaneous and magical. Every little, almost every little darn thing, almost said damn, every little damn thing um, is so completely magical and draws my attention, draws to my awareness. I love it. Brian says, great boxer Roy Jones Jr. adopted his fighting style by watching the roosters of his childhood farm. Wow, I didn't know that. Thanks, Ryan. Man, Roy Jones was definitely great. Maybe the best pound for pound ever. Thomas says, thank you for sharing that. Brings real joy. Well, thank you for saying that, Jimmy. I appreciate that. Let's see. Susanna, my friend, how are you? Susanna liked. I appreciate that. Jay says, Susanna, greetings. Let's see. Did I miss anyone? So, you know, that's telling right here. Lesson 322 from A Course in Miracles. I can give up, but what was never real. I sacrifice illusions, nothing more. And as illusions go, I find the gifts illusions try to hide awaiting me in shining welcome and in readiness to give God's ancient message to me. His memory abides in every gift that I receive of him, and every dream serves only to conceal the self which is God's only Son, the likeness of himself, the Holy One who still abides in him forever. He still abides in me. You know, Mother Teresa was asked, how do you keep showing up to tend to these gravely ill children in the worst possible conditions in the slums of Calcutta? How do you keep showing up every single day and doing this without losing hope? And her answer was, I simply show up and I see the face of Christ in all of his distressing disguises. The face of Christ in all of his distressing disguises. We can unpack that from the religious language. We can see the face of love in all of its disguises. And it is disguised as a blade of grass, as a squirrel, as a duck, as a bear, as Jace, as Timmy, as Susanna, as Eric, as Easy, as Ryan. All of that is the face of love. Sometimes it's disguised as an ego, but it isn't. So true forgiveness is simply seeing the face of love within all of us that is so well hidden within ourselves and within others that we lose sight of it. So forgiveness doesn't say, I'm forgiving you these things. It's saying, I am simply recognizing that within you are just the true face of love. You're the face of Christ. Mistaken. You've lost sight of that. And I see you and I recognize you. And let's bring it out together. We always think of forgiveness, we've been trained to think of forgiveness as something we bestow upon another. But who are we to bestow anything on anyone? What we do is simply recognize. And when you recognize that innocence, you let go of the other stuff. It's pettiness. But we're also have been given the gift of discernment. So sometimes people think that, well, if I forgive, does that mean I'm going to allow them to keep hurting me? The same thing to happen over and over again? Doesn't mean that at all. Why would you give up your discernment? Through the gift of forgiveness, you get that gift of discernment, and you see the world deeply, compassionately, empathetically, but also wisely. Never sacrifice your wideness your wiseness, thinking that it's empathy. It isn't. Because you're not doing anyone a favor to allow them to hurt you. Now you've doubled the hurt. They're hurt by hurting you, and you're hurt by being hurt. Hey, Songhel, how are you? Songhel says, hi, Yogi. Hi, Jace. Nice to see you, my friend. Jace says, Songhel, greeting. So let's see. I was actually going to read something totally different, but it all seems to be fitting in together. But let me read a little bit here. This is from the Manual for Teachers. And then we'll call it a day. Then we'll call it a morning at least. Do you believe in UFOs? Yes. I don't know what they are. I believe in the actual title, unidentified flying objects. But here's the thing. I'm not so sure that they're flying. I've talked about this with Squirrel Sniper before. I think more aptly, it's probably more of an it's probably an interdimensional form of travel. Traveling through dimensions, not from out somewhere that's beyond us. There really is no beyond us. The truth is, well, I don't know what the truth is. I can only give you my version of the truth. Let's see, Songa says, I saw a documentary yesterday where fighter pilots said they saw them. Yeah, and I have no doubt. There's been so many sightings through so many, forever, since early time. So this is from Manual for Teachers in A Course in Miracles. Illusions are always illusions of differences. How could it be otherwise? By definition, an illusion is an attempt to make something real that is regarded as of major importance, but is recognized as being untrue. The mind therefore seeks to make it true out of its intensity of desire to have it for itself. Illusions are travesties of creation, attempts to make truth to lies. So what we perceive is an illusion created by the mind. The world in and of itself doesn't have meaning outside of its own essence until we assign it meaning. The meaning of a tree is to be a tree. The meaning of a tree is God. Right? And then we look at it and we say, well, it's a spruce, it's an oak, it's a willow. We give it a label, we give it a name. And then we say it could be useful for making a canoe, it could be useful for lumber. I could remove it and have the land. It provides shades, it's given me an apple. Now we're assigning meaning to the tree outside of the essence of its original meaning. That's not necessarily bad. Nothing wrong with an apple, that's for sure. But it means that we've assigned meaning to every single thing. Our minds have told a story of our perception based upon what we're projecting out into the world. That's true. We do that for people as well. Man, look at any live stream and you'll see immediate judgment and reaction to people coming in. Sometimes it's awesome, a great warm welcome. And other times it's due to a past experience. Here's a great lesson from A Course in Miracles. Hey, Steve-O. Hello, my friend. It's nice to see you again. The one holy true thing that one can say about the past is that it's not here. The past only exists as a thought. If someone comes into a live stream, they are immediately greeted as their past. This person was funny last live stream. This person was disruptive last live stream. This person was pleasant. This person was whatever. Which means we've largely dismissed them as they are right now. That's the whole purpose of resurrection. In Buddhism, they talk of rebirth. Rebirth is every single moment. In each moment, we are reborn as something other than we were before, and yet in essence, who we truly, truly, truly are remains the same. Allow everyone that chance for that rebirth. That's forgiveness, is allowing someone to be reborn in front of you in this very moment. Let's see. Steve says, good morning. Sorry, that's okay. Steve says, Steve, brother, good morning. Good to see you. Steve says, Jace Slow, good morning. Good to see you also. Appreciate you guys being here. So what do you guys think of UFOs? Our friend Songa brought it up. My cat's coming in to give me, one of my cats, her opinion. Steve says, of course, sir, and how are you? I'm doing good. Hey, Buying Space. How are you? Jay says, Steve is a great streamer. Eric, gamer? Yep, I've hung out on his channel before. Songa says, it could also be technology from other countries, but who knows? Well, the thing is, there's been descriptions of UFOs before there was any modern technology, from ancient times. The Dogon, Dogen tribe of Africa, have stories of receiving information from Sirius, the planet Sirius, or the star system Sirius. And here's the thing. This goes back generation upon generation upon generation, and Sirius can't be seen by the naked eye. So how did this African tribe get that information? How were they able to know anything about Sirius? This is Songho, you're opening a door now. And maybe how we started. Have a think about that. Nice, interesting. Song says, love the positive energy from this channel. Always love the open dialogue. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Steve says, Jace, I really appreciate you. Jace is one of a kind. Let's see. Space says, it's heaven, not in outer space. It's not of the earth. What did Jesus say? Where did Jesus say heaven was? And there's the answer. It's the same place where Buddha told us to look. It's the same place where Krishna tells us to look. Jesus said, do not look to heaven. Do not look there. Do not look here. The kingdom of heaven is within. The Buddha sat beneath the Buddha tree and said, I'm not going to move. I'm not going to shift from my meditative stance until I'm awakened. Krishna revealed the subtle levels of consciousness through the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Right here, right now. We're going to go back to what I was talking about apples. If you can't discover heaven in a single bite of an apple, you're never going to find heaven anywhere else. Ryan says, what do you think of the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul contest? You know what? I was excited only for the comeback of Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? I knew it might not be a great fight, but it was great seeing Mike Tyson get back in shape, regain that passion that he had. And then once I saw the headlines the following morning, I didn't actually watch it. I was going to watch it the next day. Once I saw the headlines, I decided I'm not going to watch it. It never pays for an older fighter to come back. George Foreman can do it. He did it. But remember, he was 45. There was a big difference between 45 and 58, 57. But I give Tyson credit for, you know, hey, regaining that magic for just a little bit. Jay says, Steve, you're welcome, brother. Made me welcome first visit to your stream. So I thank you also. Siva says, Jace, always, sir. That's what this world is missing. We need more people that treat others with respect and hope it rubs off on everyone. I agree. I forget on which live stream I saw you on, Jay or Steve, where it got a little political and there was some finger wagging. You think differently than me, therefore you must be wrong. What if we didn't try to make people wrong, but we looked for what was right within all of us? If someone thinks and feels a certain way, why? We can unpack that without making someone wrong. Does that mean we have to agree with them? No. Given a choice between being right or being kind, always choose being kind, because you can walk away from any conversation still believing that you're right. But if you have made someone else wrong, there's going to be resentment, there's going to be regret. But when you're kind, you've opened up a little portal for an understanding. And when you come back, they're going to remember this person was kind. Maybe they have a point. Maybe I can listen. We've created a dialogue. That's what Steve said when he came in, the dialogue. Steve says, can you honestly say anything better than that we are living right now would be heaven? Would this be considered heaven? Could this be considered heaven? Only when we look past our perception. We are projecting the stuff of the mind. We are projecting our judgments, our guilt, our grievances, our fear out into the world, creating a world that does not look like heaven. You're not going to find heaven when children are starving. You're not going to find heaven when there's warfare going on. You're not going to find heaven when people are fighting against each other, when they're having violent political discourses, when they shrug off homelessness as, well, they should have tried better. I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, so they should do the same thing. We're never going to find heaven that way. Ever. So how can we say heaven exists here on earth, that heaven exists within, when we look at a world that is so far from heaven that it seems ridiculous to even think so? Because that is not the world in which God created. That's the world in which our mind created. God created a world of abundance, of unity, of selflessness, of absolute love. We can consider this hell. We can consider this the hell of our making. However, if we have the ability to create hell on earth through the projections of the mind, that means we also have the ability not to create heaven, which is already here, but to see it, to truly see it. This is why in every tradition it's called awakening. The Buddha awakened. When the Buddha was asked by a follower, who are you? Are you a god? And he said, no. And they said, then are you a avatar of God, an angel? And he said, no. And they said, well, then what are you? And he smiled and said, I am awakened. The Buddha was human. Jesus was human, revealing the spark of divinity, the blend. Human, the Holy Spirit, and divinity all in one. That's his lesson. That's the lesson of everyone. So we can see heaven within each of us, but instead we project our own mind stuff, and it's revealing hell. But we can shift it like that. I would say the only role that we have is to reawaken to heaven on earth, here and now. And if we don't, we're not going to find it anywhere else. We're just going to continue. Songo says Tyson is great shape for sure. Yeah, he is. But great shape at 57 is a different kind of great shape, you know? I'm 59. I'm in good shape. I'm not in the same shape I was when I was 49 or 39 or 29. Steve says, man, he was a geezer, proven something to himself. Much respect it. Must respect it. Yeah. Let's see. Sivo says, you were on that stream. Yeah, I was. Not for long. Just enough. Steve said, and anything slightly better than this would be heaven. Not even slightly better. Amazingly better. And it's already here. It's already present. And who am I to second guess Jesus? The kingdom of heaven is within. Buddha said we all must awaken, and he shows the way of awakening. Krishna said we all must awaken, and he shows the way of awakening. The entirety of the Bhagavad Gita is about waking up. The entire path of yoga is about waking up, but not in a future life, right now, right here, in an instant. My cat didn't like that. Jay says it's all energy. When we can channel these energies, we realize that love is the controlling one. Absolutely. And here's the thing. Love, or we could say the Holy Spirit, or we could say the God within, God consciousness, Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness, Buddha consciousness. We can decide, we can choose with love in any moment. My decisions are always wrong. My decisions, the ego's decision, is always of division, is always of my own personal demands, is always of limitation. But if I say, I can choose peace instead of this, I can choose love instead of this, everything changes. Jay says, apologies, wet fingers. That's okay. Jay says, meow. What do you think about that, cat? She said meow back. I hear you. So, sorry, my cat interrupted my chain of thought. The reason why we don't awaken right now is we don't know that we can. Two, because we're identified with the ego, always and only, and we don't recognize the mind stuff's that's going on. In yoga and Buddhism, it's called kleshas, the 5 afflictions of the mind. That we are seeing the world through all of these afflictions that we have. I'll talk about them later. Later, the next conversation. Course in Miracles puts it down to one thing. We are seeing the world as a projection of our fear. What are we afraid of? We are afraid that we are small, limited selves, egos. We're afraid that if anyone looked in our mind and saw what a mess it was, that we are always demanding, that we always, George Harrison wrote about it on Let It Be. I, me, mine, all through the day, all through the night. I, me, mine, I be mine, I be mine. We let that go. That's who we truly are. We are the actuality beneath the mind stuff. Steve says, oh, you heard that crazy conversation we'll be having? I try to let people speak their mind. I think you were hearing one of my buddies. Actually, I forget. It was someone else's live stream, and you made a casual comment along the lines of what you just made, of hoping the world could be healed, and everyone rushed in to give you their opinion on how that should be done. But you were very accommodating to everyone. I appreciated seeing that. C says, I always try to have an open discussion and let everyone have a good conversation. Always a rebuttal. There is always a rebuttal. Someone is always willing to come along and say, nope, don't think that way. And you know what? They are such good teachers. Everyone is showing up as an aspect of yourself to teach you something. What is it? And are you willing to learn it? And until you learn it, they will keep showing up with that same lesson in a different disguise. They're going to show up as Bob, as Phil, as John, as... I'm just throwing out random names, by the way. Peace of mind is your onus. Hey, Starseed, my friend, how are you? Peace of mind is always on you, on never someone else. If you come into a live stream and say, man, I want this to be an oasis. I want this to be a place where I can find peace. It's not going to happen. Someone's going to show up purposely to disrupt that peace because that's their job. And what the lesson is, turn within, discover the kingdom of God here. Turn within and discover peace in this moment because it doesn't reside. No one disrupts your peace of mind because where does your peace of mind reside? Is it out there? In a way it is, because that person is showing up as an aspect of your peace of mind. If they are disrupting it, let it go. Heal it right here and right now. They're giving you a really important lesson. Siva says, yes, sir, always will be one. Siva says, yes, most definitely. All of my friends are about 55. Sangha says, how is Ina Jace? And Jace says, she's good. We're just going out soon. I will video some of the walk. Nice. Looking forward to seeing that, Jace. I'm going to actually shut things down now. It's almost 5:40 here. I got a walk right ahead of me. Delingo says, I live in fear, but I find peace because of God. Hey, Delingo, that's an interesting statement, and I love hearing that. But if you're living in fear, there's still a separation from God. God's within you and will heal the fear. Sorry. So the more you keep looking in, the more you keep living in the actuality of God, the less the fear will be possible. Where there is perfect God, where there is perfect love, there can't be fear. God knows nothing of fear. So the more you relax into God, into love, into reality, the less the possibility of fear can exist. Hey, Miss Flipper, my friend, how are you? Chief says I learn a lot from older people. Me too. My father being my greatest teacher ever. Miss Flipper says hi to Jace with some hugs. Steve says, you have a good morning walk, sir. Thank you for the chit chat. Well, thank you for being part of it. Much appreciated. Hey, Easy, my friend, thank you so much for becoming a member. All right, so I'm going to head out and take my walk. I'll be back about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. I'm not sure what's going on today, but something is. Someone's going to be doing something on the live stream. Someone's going to be having fun. Someone's going to have a great workout. Oh, Jace or Optimum is going to be doing something at the premiere, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So maybe I'll see you guys over there. Miss Flipper, Jace, my friend, you enjoy your walk too. Ryan says, have a good day, Yogi. You too. Thanks again, guys. I'm going to see y'all later. Steve says, yes, sir, I'll be on. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Delingo says, have a good day, Eric. Mine's 6:40 p.m. in my country. So the day is winding down for you. Thank you for spending some of your evening with me, Delingo. Much appreciated. Take care, guys.